Potter, faculty here with Delmar with the nursing department, and I'm going to direct you tonight through the program. Now, pinning is a celebration of these students finishing the nurse education program, and it is to be applauded. There are speakers tonight, both faculty and students, and I'm going to introduce the first speaker, and that is Dr. Linda Earwood. She's the program director of the nurse education department.
I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Fall 21 Pinning. Congratulations, graduates. We're so excited for y'all. And we welcome all of the family. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I can only imagine that by now you have gone back and looked at your acceptance letter for the very small proverbial fine print that says, should we happen to experience a worldwide pandemic, your education may be a little askew. But it's not there. That's on us. We're sorry. So we'll make sure to put that in there next time. So, but in light of that, it did impact your journey, and we recognize that. And so in our honoring of you tonight, we want you to know that we know that you have truly gone through a journey of perseverance, and for that you should be applauded. You have made it to this moment, and we, your faculty, want to encourage you to take that innate sense of perseverance with you as you enter into your nursing career. You know, when you think about some of the similarities in that ER patient, that ICU patient, that pediatric patient, the home health patient, community, you get the gist. Our patients are everywhere. One thing they all have in common is that when they look at you, their nurse, they see you as a hope. They see you as courage, knowledge, and support. And so never take that for granted, that's what they see in you. We've known you over the past 4 semesters, and we have taught you how to assess, how to implement, y'all know the rest, right? There's 5 steps. And to evaluate, and to always be thinking about the what if, correct? And so what if this happens? What if this? And that's what we set out to do. But you had to learn how to care for people. You had to learn how to and when to touch and smile, and when to be a little bit more firm with your patients. And for that, you know, we want to encourage you to recognize that your patients need that from you. Your learning will never end. And so we just want to encourage you to continue your education, be it in the role of the nurse, whether you choose to go back to school, but never stop learning, okay? And for those of you that are here with us this evening, we just want to take a moment to recognize the academic achievements of some of the graduates. These individuals were recently inducted into the Alpha Delta Nu, the National Honor Society for Nursing Students. Our chapter is the Gamma Nu chapter. And so for these individuals to be inducted into the Honor Society, they have to have done so by maintaining a cumulative grade point average of a 3.0 or higher, which is a letter grade of B or higher. in all of their nursing courses in all 4 semesters. And they've had no failures in any nursing courses, all which are criteria to be inducted into the Honor Society. Some of these are parents and have had to juggle parenting and school responsibilities and had to create backup plans to the backup plans to the backup plan. And some have been taking additional courses as they anticipate moving forward. And so I'd like to, at this moment, have these individuals stand so that we can recognize them. They are wearing the apricot cords, if you would. So I'd like to close with a quote from Florence Nightingale, which is to recognize that nursing is a progressive art such that to stand still is to go backwards. Congratulations and happy holidays.
Thank you, Dr. Earwood. And now, as I promised, there will be a student speaker, and it's Virginia Mcallister. Would you come up to the stage?
I got my pin. Good evening and welcome, everyone. I have had the privilege of graduating from the Del Mar College Nursing Program for my LVN and now my registered nurse. I'm also a United States Navy veteran. Let me tell you, the world's most powerful Navy has nothing on the stress that nursing school can invoke on an individual. Don't get me wrong. Being yelled at while handling live ammunition is indeed bad. However, there is no stress like having a professor look over your shoulder with a serious look on their face and say, "But did you wash your hands first?" Or to learn that you picked the correct answer, but you didn't pick the most correct answer, and your case study patient just died. No pressure, right? What I'm trying to say is that nursing school is not for the faint of heart. I am standing here amongst some of the strongest men and women that I have ever met. I'm honored to be part of such an amazing group of graduates. Can I get a round of applause for this fine group? When I was in the trauma ICU for clinical, I came across a beautiful poem. I don't know who the author is, but I felt the need to share. It said, "You are going to feel like quitting. You are going to struggle. You'll have days where you'll wonder what it's all for. You'll have your days when people will attempt to break you down or challenge your intelligence, skills, and the right to be where you are. You'll have moments when you question your own abilities and perhaps your sanity, but you will rise. You will rise because your strength as a nurse is not determined by one grade, one shift, or one job. It's an ongoing journey of honor, learning, humility, and a chance to make even the smallest difference in the life of your patients." When receiving that acceptance letter into the Del Mar College Nursing Program, we were over the moon excited, so filled with hope and joy. Only so many slots available, and we, us, were the ones to be chosen. We came into this program with one goal, to be nurses, to make a difference one day. 2 years didn't seem long. Little did we know. We had no idea what we had gotten ourselves into. As time went along, for some, 2 years became 3 to 4 years. Together, we have survived hurricanes and have witnessed historical events while trying to survive nursing school. We went on spring break and returned virtually. Some have lost loved ones from COVID-19. Relationships have been lost. Our loved ones not understanding why they don't hear from us as often as they used to, why the house isn't as clean as usual, why work hours have been cut back. And for those of us with children, where is mommy or daddy? All while we are trying to keep our heads above water to survive nursing school. Let me give y'all some insight on what we have been up to for the past few years. Our time has been taken by reading, studying, doing ATI, simulations, clinicals, labs, checking our temperatures every day, taking naps on our free time, and living off of caffeine. Level 1 was such a gush of information for us. We were excited to receive our skills bags, put on new snazzy scrubs, and get to look sophisticated with our new stethoscopes. We learned the basics. We checked vital signs, learned how to stage a wound, and learned to perform skills such as completing a head-to-toe assessment, along with inserting an indwelling urinary catheter while maintaining a sterile field to inhibit the formation of infection. Did y'all hear that? We were even beginning to sound smarter. Oh, you get dizzy when you stand up from a sitting position? That's called orthostatic hypotension. Then COVID-19 came in like a wrecking ball during the spring semester of 2020. This cohort went on spring break in March and was forced to return virtually. The amount of people utilizing the internet skyrocketed, and technical difficulties added to the stress of nursing school. This was the time we began questioning what kind of nurses we would be. We transitioned to virtually simulated patients from real people. In order to perform one assessment, we had to click various buttons on our computer. It was tedious, but we managed to push through it. We were supposed to be able to return to campus May of that year. Fall came, and levels 2 and 3 were cut down to 8 weeks each and combined into one fall semester. Imagine having a 50-question exam every week and having to read multiple chapters consisting of approximately 30 to 40 pages of content that will possibly be on that exam every week. Thanks a lot, Lewis. I'm just kidding. Lewis is actually the golden book that got us through this program. Fall was theory-focused. It was all about the books that semester. Try learning how to deliver a baby online. Ladies, did you know you had a fundus? I didn't know we had one. This cohort had to learn what a fundus is and how to massage one online. Again, nursing school is not for the faint of heart. Even though the fall semester ended, levels 2 and 3 were still not over. Spring was focused on clinical. Again, each level split into 8 weeks. Clinicals were twice a week that semester. It was a relief when we learned that we would be returning to campus for level 4. We were back in the lab, no more cameras on the screen while testing, although the senioritis had kicked in. We looked like we could be patients ourselves. We managed to tackle trauma, shock, critical care, bleeding disorders, and personality disorders. Everything that we had learned over the years finally came together this semester. Oh my goodness. And we could not have done it without the guidance and wisdom of our professors and adjunct clinical professors along the way. Thank you for the blank stares. I know we made your eyes twitch at times. I know there were times when you were thinking to yourselves, just when I think I've seen it all. Thank you for the knocks on the hard wood when information was important. Thank you for the constructive criticism, even when some of us wanted to cry, or did cry. Thank you for the reminders that although mistakes were made, that we were still going to be successful. In the words of a stern professor, I can proudly say, learning has occurred. Tonight, we are no longer nursing students. No more ATI, no more sleepless nights before an exam. We are nursing graduates. soon to be registered nurses. We are the future. We are going to make a change. Congratulations, class of 2021. We finally did it.
And now we're going to change over to why y'all came here, to see the pinning. But before I do that, let's go ahead and have the faculty members who are going to help with the pinning and the Nightingale lamps come up on the stage. Just so that you're informed, the students are going to be called one by one. We've already asked them to answer a couple of questions, and we're going to go ahead and do that while they're being pinned. Then once they do that, they're going to come across the stage. You'll have plenty of opportunities to take some photo shots, and they'll pick up a Nightingale lamp. Then they'll go ahead and have a seat, and then we'll proceed on with the pledge. Okay. So, Haley Garza. Haley accepted a job at Christus Spawn in Beeville, Texas on the med-surg unit, medical surgical unit, and she's going to continue on to get her BSN. Haley. She's going to continue on to get her BSN, although she didn't say where. Chelsea Maldonado. Chelsea is with Christus Spawn Shoreline on the trauma step-down unit. She plans to pursue her BSN. She also wants you to know that she's thanking all of her family and friends for the love and the support. Abigail Martinez. Abigail will be working at Bay Area Hospital in the CVICU, and she continues on with her education and intends to eventually become a nurse practitioner. Janice Martinez. Janice is going to Tennessee, apparently, and she's going to work for a hospital with a labor and delivery unit. She's going to continue on to pursue higher education, and she wants to thank her husband and family for all the support. Kayla Martinez. And Kayla is going to go to Medical City, Plano, working on an oncology unit. She wants to pursue higher education at a school that is undecided at this time. She wants to thank her family and friends for supporting me and helping me accomplish this milestone. Virginia Mcallister. Virginia has accepted a position with a traveling wound care unit, and she has a 6-month assignment in her hometown, which we don't know what that is. I intend on going to Texas A&M San Antonio, and I strove for this dream to give my daughter a better life. Mommy loves you, Ariana. To my loving family and friends, thank you for being there. Rebecca McEnroy. Rebecca is with Bay Area Hospital, apparently in the emergency department. She does continue on with her education for the BSN either at Del Mar or online. And she wants to thank all her friends and family for supporting her throughout the 2 years, as well as all of my hard-working classmates. Congratulations to everyone. Chelsea Page Nettle. Chelsea has accepted a position at Baylor Scott & White at College Station and will be working in the IMCU. She's also going to pursue higher education at a school, but she hasn't decided which one yet. Thank you to my friends and family for helping me accomplish my dreams. Audrey E Nunes. Audrey will be working at Spawn South in the labor and delivery. She plans on going for her Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and she's going to do that at Delmar. She wants to thank everyone who has helped me to get here. You know who you are, but especially my mom, who has always been there and has always pushed me to never give up. Sheila Pena. Sheila wants to pursue her BSN, but has not decided where yet. I want to thank my mother, son, and the rest of my family for supporting me through this journey and believing in my dreams. Lolly Rivas. Lolly has a position with Bay Area Hospital at the Heart Telemetry Unit. She's going to continue her education and pursue the BSN with Galen College of Nursing. She wants to also state that a big thank you to my amazing support system, especially Gabe. I could not have done this without you. I love you so much. Jessica Rivas. Jessica is also employed with the Bay Area Hospital Medical Center Heart Telemetry Unit. She plans on pursuing a higher education, yes, and she wants to work on getting her bachelor's degree first. I want to thank my family for always being by my side. Without y'all, I would not be standing here tonight. Cassidy Romo. Cassidy has employment with Christus Spawn Hospital in the Labor and Delivery Unit. She intends on continuing with her BSN at UT Arlington. She wants to thank all her family and friends who have helped me throughout this journey. To my kids and husband, I love you guys, and we did it. Anthony Ryan Rosales. Anthony has employment at LTAC, which is a long-term acute care hospital, which is also named the Post-Acute Hospital. He plans on pursuing his BSN at the University of Texas at Arlington. He would like to thank his mother, father, and grandparents for all their support and patience. Jasmine Sanchez. Jasmine will be working at Corpus Christi Medical Center Doctors Regional, and she wants to continue her education for a bachelor's degree in nursing at the University of Texas at Arlington. She wants to thank her mom and dad for all of their support. Cody Schroeder. Cody will be working with Krista Spawn Alice in the intensive care unit, and he plans on pursuing his Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Cassandra Schaus. Cassandra works with Northwest Emergency Room. She intends to get her BSN through Del Mar, and she wants to make a statement. Learning has indeed occurred. Tykira Smith. Kira is employed with Spawn South Nursery, and she intends to pursue her BSN, but she doesn't say where with. Additional quote here, she wants to thank her fiance and thank you, Mom, for all the support and motivation. I love you. Aaron Suarez. Aaron intends to get his BSN at the University of Texas, Arlington, and he wants to thank his mom, dad, and my grandparents for all of your support. Dulce Teo. Dulce plans to complete her higher education and get her BSN with the University of Texas at Arlington. Kaylee Tyler. Kaylee is going to work with Bay Area Hospital in the antepartum unit. She will be getting a bachelor's degree from the Galen College of Nursing. She wants to thank her mom, fiance, and sisters for getting me through the last 2 years. I also want to acknowledge my son, Dupre. I love you all so much. Brittany Ibarra. Brittany will be working with Driscoll Children's Hospital on the 7th Tower, and she wants to continue to earn the BSN, and she wants to thank her family and friends for being on this journey with me. And now we're going to have the recitation of the Florence Nightingale Pledge. And I'm going to go ahead and call to the podium Rebecca McEnroy. She'll lead off the pledge.
I solemnly pledge myself before God and in the presence of this assembly to pass my life in purity and to practice my profession faithfully. I will abstain from whatever is deleterious and mischievous and will not take or knowingly administer any harmful drug. I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standard of my profession and will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping and all family affairs coming to my knowledge in the practice of my calling. With loyalty will I endeavor to aid the physician in his work and devote myself to the welfare of those committed to my care.
Before we end the ceremony, I want to recognize one other student, and that is Chelsea Neto. She was the president of the pinning organization this semester. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the ceremony, and I ask that you remain seated while the students exit the stage.